I'll go ahead and introduce myself one more time. So my name's Halik, and I'm the host here at WBB, Code and Chill. Right here, we try to discuss all things tech. We're mostly focusing on technologies, software, and frameworks and programming languages. Less on the career side, right? I have a thing in that area. I've been more on the business side myself, right? So less on getting roles in tech, right? I could give some initial advice, right? But having not having that big of a career in tech, right? More on the business side. Even though, right, I've worked in financial companies such as PwC as Wells Fargo, right? Definitely, I definitely want to. We do things such as workshop. So if you're having an issue with certain parts of your code, we share the screen, and we try to debug and try to solve that issue together. And then we also talk about various things in tech as we're talking about right now, right? In addition to that, so that is my introduction. All right, and then Richie also to
Nice.
introduce.
Hey, yeah. Hi, I'm Richie. Um, I am a Python programmer primarily. I focus on like digital security, privacy engineering, cryptography stuff, um, and I'm a big like open source software person. I run like servers and I do front end and back end stuff. I got into software because I saw the potential for software to like be used to create like new worlds, like kind of like this, but like anything really, like there's so many possibilities for what can be created with software and like, just like doing like community organizing and activism and realizing like there's so many tedious little things with like daily life, but also like productive things that you want to do that are just difficult that actually can be automated away and like you know could be made easier, like connecting with people and organizing, all that could be made easier with tech if it's like designed that way. And I got really like angry really because like the things that I wanted to exist didn't exist, and like they didn't exist because like there's like no motive, because like I'm not really interested in like building things to make money. I'm mostly interested in building things for social change. So I was like, oh, if no one's gonna make it, I'll make it. So I started learning how to code, and that's me.
Oh, that's awesome. What have you? Oh, sorry.
No, I
What
didn't
Oh,
was
say
that?
anything. No, I didn't say anything.
I was just gonna ask what you've built.
Oh, so right now, I built some things for clients, like, websites and stuff like that. But the things that I'm really excited about that I've been working on recently are like security libraries. Like, so if you are a Python developer, you can use my libraries and it'll help you like encrypt things and create like digital identities and like different things around privacy. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like making security software easier to use, like making the user experience nice. Because I don't know if you have experience with like coding things, but like usually coding is kind of difficult, but then like if you have to do security on top of that, it's even more difficult. And a lot of times developers just aren't really security people, like they just build things. Um, so I like making things regarding security easier for developers. So I have two Python programs up that are like open source libraries that are available for folks to use, but they're like in the works. Um, I'm like preparing an update for one of those libraries now that has like a lot of really cool features.
That's awesome. I actually I joined We Build Back because I was interested in software, but coding was not not too much for me. So I actually started looking into the tester route, like the quality testers. And so I'm trying to learn more about that. Do you guys work with testers at your company?
Yeah, yeah. I love.
Oh my
I
God,
have.
yes. Testers are so important. Yeah, absolutely.
how's your experience been with like dealing with them?
Uh, it's been great. I think it's a I've done mostly my own testing, so I can say as a tester who's not really a professional tester and is learning that I appreciate when someone else is there to do that because it's a lot of work and it's really important. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I started this boot camp for it. So I'm learning. I'm starting off with like manual testing and then learning the SQL databases, like the queries, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And eventually, I want to learn Python for automated testing, but I'm not there yet. So that's where I am.
That's cool. I don't know if there's a Python meetup like WBB Python meetup, but I'd be happy to share skills. Maybe I can connect with you, Alik, maybe setting up like a um well, there's a lot of resources online, but if anyone was interested, I'd be interested in sharing my skills.
Yeah.
Joshua, yeah, they, no, we have a Python group chat in the Slack. Yeah, so but I think specifically, yeah, you would definitely have to talk to Devin about that to organize events because I know he's been doing events. Have you been in contact with Devin Ritchie?
No, not recently, not since the first time I came.
Yeah,
I don't
reach out
remember
to him.
what event that was, but it was a little bit ago. It's like
Are you
last
still
month or
are
something.
you still in the Slack?
Yeah,
Yeah, reach out to him. All right.
got it.
Yeah,
Is
definitely.
there? I think that I changed phones. I don't have the Slack anymore. Is it possible? Like, how do I
Yeah,
get the?
yeah. I've come prepared, right? I got to get the invite. Yeah, yeah, but no.
Okay.
So yeah, Crystal, the QA. I love QA. When I worked with them, no, I know what you're talking about when, they have a side to them. They have they definitely the QA people I worked with. They had a different side to them sometimes, and sometimes there's priorities. Sometimes the QA suggestions doesn't always, and then I see how like the QA could clash with the UX, could clash with the project manager. Joshua, can you hear us? Joshua on the bottom left.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
All right, so Joshua, hey, so thank you,
Hey,
for
Joshua.
joining.
Hey,
Um,
what's up, yo? Nice to be
yeah,
here.
yeah, it's your first time as well.
Yeah, I thought I'd check it out.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I think this is good because before Reach, if you remember, everyone was spawning all over the place. I made it so that everyone spawns in the meetup room so that we don't have to chase everyone down. But Crystal,
Right.
QA, right? QA that I wanted to ask about, and then right. So they're gonna have you learn Python, right? So with the technologies there in the boot camp, did they also mention Selenium? I mean, so for like Python for QA testing, right? I know that it's all about automation, right? So from what I hear, the Python is that there's web scraping mostly, right? There's Python framework specifically for QA automation testing. Have you also heard about Selenium and Appium? They probably have a Python version of Selenium. I just want to know, do you know Selenium and Appium?
I know about Selenium. So it's kind of like a self-paced boot camp. Um, so I'm not quite there. I'm right now I'm on SQL, not on Python quite yet. So I'm just trying to I'm doing the manual route right now and learning about databases and APIs maybe. And then that like the Python will be like a kind of at the end of my learning. um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Take things one step at a time. I definitely understand that. It could, yeah, especially like you know like so the database, right? They have you learning the SQL database so that you could look up, right? So that you could probably you'll probably work with a certain tool, and then you'll be able to look up different tests. You'll be able to look up different test cases, or you'll probably run a test, and then you want to check the database, right, to see if that data ends up in the database. Right. So yeah, things like that. Yeah. So that's important. To have SQL. Like in addition to that, to be QA, there was like a event. I'm not sure. There was a meetup event like specifically for QA that I went to, and I checked out in New York. It was like a few weeks. It was a few weeks back.
Oh, wow. Do you have the link for that?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm not sure if it's a group, but. I'm not sure if it's a group, but definitely. Let me try to see here on Meetup. I even forgot. I think I got invited, if I'm not mistaken. So there's Meetup, there's Eventbrite, there's Luna, right? Like Luna's another spot, and then there's events I get invited to. So let me see.
If anybody has like, if you guys are willing to, because I would love to speak to like QAs that are currently in the field, just to get their opinion about like what they do and like how like their daily function, and if they like their job, and how just general information. So if anybody has any friends that are QAs, or willing to introduce me to QAs, I would really, really be grateful, because I would like to get someone's perspective who's currently out there in the field, or who's been working for a while, and just kind of get more of like an understanding of like, their road into QA and learning and working in QA.
I put it in the chat. You see, so Richie, I'm not sure if you're in the Slack group, but Crystal, Joshua, I put the Slack group link in the chat, and then for you, Crystal, I put in that event that I went to.
Oh, cool. Let me check.
And then Richie, all that.
Crystal, what do you do? Are you a software person?
I actually, so I was thinking about doing software for a while. I used to come to the Dumbo location. Is that still a thing? Or
wait. We WBB used to have a meetups in Dumbo. That's where.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
like
think I joined after that.
Oh, okay.
So.
So they don't do the meetups there anymore?
Devin had a meetup last week in person. I think he's having meetups in various parts. Right, but there's not like a consistent Dumbo meetup. I think what we've done, and then what I've done, is that when I joined, I said, hey, let me lead the charge and let me run these virtual meetups online. So, but he's having events, right? He announces them in the Slack. Right, I was going to go to this one that happened last week, but I wasn't able to make that one too. So.
So wait, there's two different events, like one in virtual and one in person with Devin?
Yeah, sometimes Devin has the personal events, right? But like this Code and Chill, we try to host every week.
Okay. I kind of like the virtual ground. How is this what I've never seen this virtual environment before.
Yeah, so it's Gather Town, right? So it's not ours, right? But it's an organization, and I want to see if more people. So this is something that Devin found, and when I first joined, this is what he was using, right? And then when I did a blockchain event, when I was at a blockchain hackathon, I kind of saw this space as well, right? So this is the space that the WBB organization created, and I definitely like to lead these every Saturday. So
Yeah.
You would
I
join
mean,
me.
I like it because I'm not in New
That's
York.
cute. Yeah.
Makes it easier to come.
Okay, where are you based
I had
at?
an idea like this for a long time. Like, it's a really neat idea. I don't know. I feel like it's missing something though. You know, like I see like there's different tables and stuff. It looks like there's card games over there. Like, I don't even know. I haven't even explored really.
Yeah.
Stuff out of like simple components. It actually winds up being way more performant and snappy and people enjoy.
I have a couple of topics I want to talk about today. You know, these are two. Number one, you know, things like WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, right? And which route should you go? And then number two, like, but I think it's always a conversation that, you know, it's like, you know, when the system think you're getting hacked, it's actually you. But when you're actually getting hacked, is the system. And I actually want to bring up Facebook Marketplace into this as well,
I feel
because
like that's really deep, but I need to think about it more to like really understand what you just said.
what Facebook Marketplace?
Nah, you were like when you think you're getting hacked, it's you, but when you're just doing your thing, you're getting hacked or something like that.
Yeah, when you get hacked, then the system's like, oh no, this must be you. Like this must be you, right? So like the way that it thinks, Facebook Marketplace will. When I say Facebook Marketplace, let's make it interesting. Would you buy a MacBook on Facebook Marketplace?
Facebook Marketplace. I would go to Facebook Marketplace to get things that I can't get anywhere else. That's basically where I would. That's where I would go. You know.
What about you, Crystal? Would you get a MacBook there?
Uh, Probably not. Not unless like I knew it was new and it came with uh, Apple Care.
Like
I wanted
it's
a used bike or like, you know, a car part or like something, I would go to Facebook Marketplace.
I
yeah,
mean,
cause
if it came with like some like the Apple Care still like in warranty like for like maybe 2 years, then I would probably get it, but not if not.
yeah, cause like like what you get on Facebook Marketplace, everybody is a scam. If you try to get not Facebook Marketplace, just to buy a MacBook, everybody is a scammer. Everybody, and but the thing is, the system doesn't do enough to say that hey, like basically I was communicating with one person, and then they said hey I want a video, and they were like extremely excited, they wanted to go forward with it, right? When I blocked them, then it's your typical scammer, they call you up. Like the only thing with scammer, don't respond. But the system should just recognize what's a scam. Like it should recognize hey there's a conversation, only like because it doesn't see, this is like what's the problem with Facebook here. Like if there's a buy now button on every item, say if you want to buy an item that will get shipped to you, okay, right? There should be, if you're in a public place, you should go, right? Make sure you go to the police station or to the mall somewhere in public, right? But if you want to buy an item that will get shipped to you, right, there should be a buy now button. If there's no buy now button on the item, it's a scam. And Facebook should take those ads down. I think they leave them up because they you could meet in person and you could do the exchange that way. But Facebook hasn't verified the person, right? People are giving, they say they don't want to give information, but in this context, right, you have to be verified so that Facebook knows that you're not trying to pull off some sort of scam, which is and like at least, and what I'm trying to get at further is that Facebook should at least like do a better effort to say, hey, when it comes to these items, don't buy. Like there's like no consensus. Like I'll tell you, because I went through an experience, and like you know the type of people that are trying to get me off the platform, right, and the ways that they were doing it. Like you would think that the system would be there, would be there to protect you, but it's just, but it you know, like one clear place where it's like you know this security system is not even secure at all. You know, it's try to buy a MacBook on
So
Facebook
companies like
Marketplace.
that, right? Like they have a lot of resources. They have a lot of money, and you have to like think about why don't they fix these things? You know, like for instance, in Google, they have this problem for years and years and years where there's like advertisements up on Google, sponsored, like they go to the top because they're getting paid to like put those sponsorships up there. But those sponsorships, a lot of times they're like you're saying either scams or like literally deploying viruses on your, on your devices, you know, but they're not incentivized to fix that problem because they're getting paid to put that advertisement up there. So like you have to really think about why aren't they fixing these problems? It's because they're actually making money off them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they should be doing better, but you can't really expect them to do better because they are just like a giant corporation trying to make a lot of money. And if you fight back and you say like, you should do better, then they might change some shit, but like in at the end of the day, they're just like gonna do their thing and do whatever they need to do to make money. And if they can ignore you, then they will.
Same thing with this with the RAM upgrade, right? Because everybody would get a MacBook if they know they could upgrade it to 16 gigs of RAM, right? Everyone will just get the 8, and then they'll see if the 8 works, and they'll just upgrade to 16 with MacBooks as well. All now, right? There's like an act saying that like, hey, private companies need to fix this is related or unrelated in the same way, but private companies need to allow consumers to be able to fix their own stuff, right? MacBooks, I was looking at getting the MacBook, they solder the chip, the processor into the RAM, so you can't upgrade the RAM, right? So now just making it, yeah, like corporations, it's like, all the problem that you see is like, oh, hey, it's this person, it's this bad actor. Like all the problem you see, it just might be the corporations that are causing this problem. Same thing with Windows and like the blue screen of death, right? Like I do believe more and more that's on purpose, that every so few years your laptop doesn't want to work anymore and you have to get a new laptop, or or the OS. Like even another commercial when it comes to, I was watching this car ad from 1972. They said like they make the car is airtight so that if you end up in the water, it doesn't sink. Like no water gets inside the car. And now your products, same thing, your services, right? They're all right. They're all made not to last. They're made just to get as much money out of your pocket as possible. Yeah. So yeah, no. It's so right back to what we're really saying, right? That right technology, as it's getting more advanced, right? You gotta be more. You have to be consciously knowing more about technology day by day.
It's tough though. There's a lot to learn. I don't think like, you know, it's so complicated. It's not really possible for like the average technology user to figure out all the ways that the technology can be harming them or taking advantage of them. It's just like the ecosystem is huge. There's a lot to learn. It's always changing. It's just like it's a pretty sad situation we got going on with tech platforms and yeah. But
I think one thing you mentioned, right? Definitely love to build apps for the community. Have you heard of Catchafire?
No.
Well, it's time for you to hear about them because they are they need a person like you. Right, so let's go ahead and put in the chat here.
Okay, catch a fire. Got it.
Thanks. I'm gonna I'm just gonna try to update in Python. This is Node.js, JavaScript.
Well,
Maybe I
JavaScript
just don't know enough.
is a bad language. No, I'll tell you right now, JavaScript is the bad language that the world so you're not alone. I had a situation where I think this I have a situation with a Firebase emulator, okay? And I run a command and it didn't update the database. And then I had to add an extra. I asked ChatGPT, I had to add an extra feature. It was quick, but no, sometimes it's not you. like sometimes the application misbehave, and there's all these little quirks in programming languages that sometimes it's not you, it's the all right, for one example, it's the error messages, right? If you get an error message, it has nothing to do with the error sometimes. Okay? I was
Right.
dealing with an error NG0203. All that meant was in the TS config. I don't know if you're using TypeScript in your application, but in the config, I had to silence all the paths because all the libraries that I was using in my application, I installed them for development, but when I was done with them, I forgot to take it out. So I pushed that to production, and the app didn't know where they were. They thought I was on my computer. So, but no,
Damn.
like it's not you. It's never you. It's always JavaScript is a bad language, and everyone's using it, but it's just business. But deep down, like JavaScript is definitely a tougher language. So definitely,
Yeah, bad legacy code. But
Oh, yeah, it has my name, Steven. I just wanted to, see how things are done, just expand my horizons and stuff like that, and try to help out to help me secure that knowledge of software developers. So that's why.
oh, okay. What do you do for work? What is your
Uh,
industry?
well, my industry is HVAC, work
Okay.
heating, air conditioning, ventilation. But I'm learning to code. I've been learning to code for a while, but I want to be able to build something that I could use in my portfolio, so that I can actually get these jobs. So I don't have to. So I could get a different job that actually pays more. So that's the
Yeah.
whole. I
Yeah,
get.
yeah, I definitely think even so, like you could use like even so, I would say, yeah, it's definitely good. I think, and how you're learning, how are you learning? Are you doing through
Uh,
boot camp? Are you self taught? How are you doing it?
well, I've been trying to follow like 100 devs to figure out, you know, I watched a lot of their videos, so I kind of copy the not copy, I guess, learn from the information, and then just some videos I'll use Travesty Media or simply Dev, simply Simple Dev, Web Dev simplified. Trying to use those to try to build an app, a full stack app, with vanilla JS in the front, and then in the back Node, and maybe like using EJS as the view, and then trying to make something with tie it all together with like authorization, so it can look like But that's gonna take time. But that's pretty much it. And when I'm not coding, I volunteer for a tech meetup called Coding Coffee. So that's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
go to those. Yeah, I used to go. Yeah, those are really nice. Those are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, but for your learning, right? I think those
Mhm.
videos they're not complete. Like I said earlier, those
What happened?
videos are those videos. 100 devs, travesty.
Yeah.
They're not complete. They're not complete in your learning. They're like videos on. They show you how to do something, but it's not the
Yeah.
complete package, right? So if you ever
Yeah.
run into issue that that we had now with Joshua, where it requires you to understand. Not like, okay, hey, this is how to do something cool. Like understand what's going on. Like I'm pretty sure when you're setting up like dealing with a refrigerator. Well, I don't know HVAC too well,
Well,
but
no,
when
no,
you're
I
dealing
don't. I work in the office. I don't work in the actual.
oh,
I work
okay.
in the field because I'm doing. I do go. I go to different spots, and if they're doing some work in that spot right before, I will take scans with a lidar camera and try to put them together in a 3D point cloud. So that's generally what I do, and then sketching. I mean drawing. So
That's
those are the
pretty.
two things.
That long won't hold you. That's really cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, it seems cool. It just doesn't pay as much. But I get to
It
do.
should.
I get to do
Yeah.
schools. I do schools. I do corporate buildings. I've done other, big name companies, water things. So it's usually before we would do the work, they would send me out to take scans. So I would take scans of different areas, and then like I said, put them, kind of stitch together the scans into a 3D point cloud, and then from there I would publish it, and then the draftsman would literally could create a image over the existing like the existing image. So I guess here this is what is, I'll put it in the chat. So it's nice. It's just like I said, it does not pay. But I will send a link to the company, and that's usually what I do. So if they need any work done, they'll send me out, and so I have to do all the kind of the labor. I go into the ceilings, take scans up there, and then be able to connect the top to the bottom, and so that the draftsman, who pretty much stays in the office all day, can actually look at the image without actually physically being there.
So you produce the data and then you give it to them.
Well, yeah, I take the scans and then I put them all together. So if they're not a good enough overlap, then it will be hard to put them all together. But if there's enough overlap from wherever I need to go from one point to the other point, then it's easier to put them all together into like I said, 3-point clouds that people can actually look at. And then he'll go into the other, once I publish it, he'll go into and create some whatever pipe or duct that needs to be put in that area. You'll see it in like a color. Like he'll change the color so the person can actually look at it into a 3D image and say like, oh, that's how it's gonna be developed, how we're gonna run it. And then he just will email the dimensions, because the camera takes because it takes measurements also. He could take he can measure the equipment down to the specs to see if it will fit in there.
Dude.
So yeah, it sounds really like, wow, that sounds cool, but it's not. Like, it'd be nice to get paid more than like $25 an hour. So it's kind of like, yeah.
Wait, why aren't you just selling the data to them?
Well, no, because this data is different. Because what happens is that we use a software called we use software. There's a company that pays for. They have a license that licenses it out for them to use the software. So I just take the scans and then put them together, and then we process it through the company who not process it, but I'll take the scans and put them together. We use the software to grab the scans information and be able to put them together, and then when we publish it, to a cloud. So
the software, is that like open source, or is it?
No, it's not open source. It's because they pay for the licensing to use the software.
Wow.
So it's the software. The camera itself is made by the same company, but then the software itself, they also offer software to the client that would be able to render and be able to show you the 3D image.
So you're getting paid hourly by the company that owns the software?
No, I'm getting paid hourly to the HVAC company.
Dude, it should be the other way. It should be.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a lot. And then and when I first got it, I didn't know, because you don't really need to go to school for that or anything else, but it sounds cool. It's a little bit less glamorous than it seems. There I can use like an iPad and then connect the scans all together.
Oh.
Which isn't bad. And so, yeah, I sent you a link of what it looks like, kind of.
Cool.
It's in the chat. So that's generally what I do for a living.
That's freaking cool.
Among doing software, but, I'm trying to still get my foot in the door and get employment. So hopefully, there's some conferences coming up, so I want to be able to kind of rip myself up and then be able to network there too, as well as, be able to establish some good leads. So
that sounds awesome. Yeah. Awesome though.
Yeah.
Dude, Actually, I kind of want to talk to you about that more, Steven.
Like,
So we could talk about it on our own time. But yeah.
yeah, no. I actually, it was crazy because one of the one of the meetup, We Build Black, which is hosted by this. They actually, I met somebody there last Saturday that does something similar for IBM, and I was
Mm.
like, "What?" She's like, I do asset management." I was like, "What's that?" Bridges and stuff. We just make sure we take scans with the drone and everything else. I was like, "Oh man," I I didn't get her LinkedIn, but I sounded like I was like hunting for a job, kind of like that kind of like, "Oh yeah, I'm listening and I'm talking about how we do stuff at our job." And the only problem with the amount of information that you take from the scans, it takes a lot of data, like gigs, a lot of gigs, a lot of gigs. It could be for a short thing, it could take 20 gigs up to, I mean, I've taken scans where it's been a lot. It takes a long time to upload, and then it takes a long time to publish. So
Yeah.
those two things. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. I will put my email address in there
Perfect.
in the chat. So, yeah.
All right, I will definitely reach out to you, bro. That's some cool stuff. The reason I'm so curious about it is because I have an idea for making kind of a platform. This is years out, but an idea for making a platform that monetizes data.
Okay. You gotta have like I said, you gotta have a lot of faith with any of those scans.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we kind of constantly like. We have like a Google Cloud that we put it on, but it's still like it's a lot of data to house in that.
Right.
There's a lot of data to have, and so I'm constantly trying to delete stuff off my computer because I don't want it to load it. So
Dude.
you're talking about like easily like there was a terabyte on my computer. There's no terabyte like that. So, and then I'll have to erase it and put it on the cloud so that people can have it, as opposed to putting it on my like personal backup. If I do, it will get clogged up. So I just
Yeah. It's like I feel like the hardware we have is software is a lot more advanced than hardware that we're working with.
Well, you got to pick and choose. You got to pick. Part of part of being a software developer is pretty much trying to solve a problem with what you have.
Yeah.
That's what makes a good software developer. Code is just, as they tell me, code is just one part of problem solving. It's just that's the tool that we use is writing code. But we have to also be able to be problem solvers as well. So
Yeah. Well, but yeah, it was great. Dude. It was
yeah,
great.
no problem.
I came here
Yeah,
on
no
like a
problem.
whim.
No, me too. I came later too. I was like, oh no, let me see if I can still get it.
Yeah. Dude, I got so much help and inspiration today. It's crazy. But yeah, it was great talking with y'all. I'll definitely be back next Saturday. But yeah. All right, so we'll head out now.
Yeah, it was a
nice
blast. I'm
talking to
glad you
you.
were able to solve those problems. That was a lot of work that y'all
Yeah.
did. That was amazing.
Couldn't have done it without y'all. But yeah, I'll see you guys next Saturday though.
Yeah, see ya.
No, Joshua, thank you for joining. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Halik. Right, I'm the host here at WBB, Virtual Code and Chill. Right, we talk about all things technology, not career-wise. I've been in the industry for a while. I do have a bit of advice, but not too much career-wise. But on the technical side, we talk about all things tech. We were talking earlier about how the system, when it's actually you, these security systems think that you're a hacker, but when it's not you and where you're actually getting scanned, right, then these security systems are nowhere to be found. And then another thing is whether you want to do Wix or whether you use Wix and WordPress to create apps, or should we create apps using the frameworks out there, right? Because
Like
the
React.
say that again.
Like React.
Yeah, like the UX out there that you're starting to see, you know, you can't. You need a UX designer to help you make an app. If you want to make an app, it will help you make. You need a UX designer, right? But if not, then
Oh, you kind of went out there.
yeah, then
Yeah, I
it's
think
not. You
your
have to
microphone
copy and
is
paste.
busted.
Who me? My microphone?
It was. I think you're back now.
Okay, yeah. I think I need to get a surround sound. Like this microphone is great, but it's not surround sound. I need it to be surround sound. All right, but as I was speaking earlier, right, you have to decide whether okay, like if you want to make a website today, if you want to make an app to make it look nice, you have to find a template. Like you don't want to try to build it from scratch because the widgets and the amount of components out there, you have to think of how would this stylistically match with my app as well as the overall theme, right? You're going to have to. So this latest app that I'm working on, right? I used a template called Envato, right, to build it out. So, right, so these are some of the
Real
things that
quick,
we're talking about.
could you
Yeah. So
guys? So let me just introduce myself again. Uh, I am Joshua Whitfield. I've been coding for a long time, but the I came here because I'm actually building a React app website. It's launched. You could check it out if you want. The design isn't really what I need help with. Here, I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to look at
yep.
it. The design isn't really what I want help on. It's really a bug that I came across. I'm trying to use like a combination of functional and object-oriented programming to like render layers onto the screen on a certain page of this app, and it just it's like it's coming across an error that like you have to contact React themselves and like post a bug or something, and I don't have time for that. Also, I tried looking on how to do that and I couldn't even find it. But because it's only for like React Native, not React. But whatever. Um, we don't have to do this now. Like, I just wanted to like let you guys know this.
Yeah.
Can
No,
I
we
ask
will.
you a question about your project?
Yeah, sure.
When you said you were doing a mixture of functional and object-oriented programming, what was the motivation? Like, what problems were you solving with like the object-oriented aspects, and what problems were you solving with the like functional aspects, and like why did you make those decisions?
Well, because I saw the use case as complete perfect, like a perfect match. It just makes sense. So like, let me explain the use case. So when you go to a table, right, to play poker, because that's what this website's about. It's a poker, it's online poker. When you go to a table, you as a player have information about you that is relevant to the table that other players need to access as well. So I wanted to plug that data into socket IO so that I could send data back and forth about players. So when a player folds, that data is sent broadcasted to the entire room that the table is hosted in, the data from the table is hosted in. So stuff like that. And then like when the player folds, goes all in, when the player bets an amount of chips, all that needs to be taken accounted or needs to be accounted for so that the entire table can actually play the game. And so like
Okay, so like there's
objects,
player, so
so
there's like oh, sorry, I'll let you finish. My bad.
so there's like objects for the players there called, I'm pretty sure it's called account or something. I forgot. I have to go look at the source code. But there's an object for the players where it has the chips they have, their balance. So chips are the chips they have at the table. Balance is the amount of chips that they have total on their account in the database. And then they have like their player username. They have other information. So the table also has information. It has like information about the stakes, the mode of the game. So whether it's like Omaha or Texas Hold'em, and then it has like the stakes are important because that determines how much a player can, um, like the minimum amount a player can bet at the start of each hand, stuff like that. It's very important information, so I put it for the table. And then it's just everything is an object in this case. So why not assign data to it and then play with that data using functions? right? That's just kind of my train of thought there.
Um, is this like going to be like the pots are like real money? Like people are putting in real money into the pot?
Oh, no. They buy digital chips. So if you go to the page top up at the very top nav bar, you'll see options for how many chips players can buy. And I already hooked it up to Stripe. So this isn't the finished version at all. Like I just put this up as kind of a demo, kind of like, hey, we're coming soon. But and then if you click on it, it's paddle. That's because I used to I used to have it hooked up to paddle. Um, but I just had to change my mind.
Hey,
Anyway,
I'll tell you what, Joshua. I'll tell you what, Kate. We're going to no, because we in this workshop, what we do in this meetup at the end, we definitely or even at any time we can mix it up. The schedule we have users who have issues with their application share their screen. So this is what we do. We actually help you, right? In addition
that's
to talk
awesome.
about how we actually help. So we definitely want you to set up. So is your application set up? Is it ready? Is it like is your dev environment set up so that we could take a look or no?
I can set it up right now.
Yeah. Right. So let's set it up, and then let us know when you're ready, right? And then we'll definitely work on the problem together for sure.
All right, sounds good.